Pengakuan masyarakat terhadap UT dibuktikan dengan beberapa prestasi, yaitu terpilihnya Rektor UT sebagai Presiden AAOU periode 2020 hingga 2022. Rektor UT menjabat sebagai perwakilan Asia untuk Quality Assurance Program International Council for Open and Distance Education atau Asosiasi Pendidikan Tinggi Jarak Jauh Sedunia. Rektor UT menjabat sebagai anggota Task Force Asian Association of Open University untuk pengembangan lembaga akreditasi pendidikan jarak jauh. Sebanyak 9.436 alumni Universitas Terbuka lolos pada CPNS 2020. Pemerolehan sertifikasi ISO 9001-2008 di 37 UPBJJ dan sertifikasi ISO 9001-2015 untuk 5 unit di UT Pusat. Pemerolehan Quality Certificate dari International Council for Open and Education atau ICDE untuk keempat kalinya. Pemerolehan peringkat akreditasi A dari BAN PT untuk perpanjangan program studi S1 Ilmu Administrasi Negara dan program studi S1 Ekonomi Pembangunan. Perolehan akreditasi baru untuk program studi S1 Ilmu Hukum, Diploma 4 Kearsipan, dan D3 Perpajakan. Meraih penghargaan ke-25 Green Metric, UT menduduki peringkat ke-48 Wibo Matrix, serta sejumlah penghargaan kehumasan di tingkat nasional dan pencapaian lainnya.
UT menjangkau yang tidak terjangkau.
Indonesia bangga memiliki universitas terbuka. Experience the Cyber University.
Dengan tuntutan era digital yang semakin pesat, memacu kita untuk terus meningkatkan potensi sumber daya manusia yang terintegrasi dan mampu menunjang produktivitas. Namun, perkembangan yang kian padat tersebut perlu diimbangi dengan solusi pembelajaran yang efektif dan modern yang mampu mengimbangi rutinitas masyarakat masa kini. Sebuah sarana yang mampu mengatasi keterbatasan tempat dan waktu yang menjadi masalah utama bagi banyak orang dalam mengembangkan diri dan peningkatan karir di era digital yang berdampak pada gaya hidup. Universitas Terbuka hadir untuk menjawab masalah tersebut dengan penerapan sistem pembelajaran terbuka dan jarak jauh. Sistem yang terbukti efektif meningkatkan daya jangkau dan pemerataan pendidikan tinggi yang berkualitas bagi seluruh lapisan masyarakat. Sistem pembelajaran Universitas Terbuka memungkinkan para mahasiswa untuk belajar secara fleksibel dan terbuka dengan beberapa keuntungan seperti waktu pendaftaran yang terbuka sepanjang tahun sehingga Anda tidak perlu khawatir untuk terlambat melakukan pendaftaran, ruang, waktu, dan tempat yang fleksibel bagi mahasiswa. Hal ini sangat berguna bagi para mahasiswa yang tetap ingin mengembangkan wawasannya dimanapun dan kapanpun. Materi ajar cetak maupun digital yang mudah diakses di seluruh pelosok Indonesia dan mancanegara. Memberi kesempatan kepada segala golongan dan usia yang siap belajar untuk mengembangkan ilmu dan kemampuannya di segala bidang. Memiliki 39 kantor regional di seluruh Indonesia dan pusat layanan luar negeri yang selalu siap mendukung kegiatan operasional dan jalinan kerjasama dengan berbagai institusi baik nasional dan internasional. Serta dilengkapi dengan berbagai fasilitas penunjang proses pembelajaran seperti UT Radio, UT TV, layanan bantuan belajar, hingga perpustakaan yang dapat diakses secara online. Memiliki 4 fakultas, Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, Fakultas Hukum Ilmu Sosial dan Ilmu Politik, Fakultas Ekonomi, Fakultas Sains dan Teknologi, dengan lebih dari 35 program studi sarjana, dan program pasca sarjana. Universitas Terbuka, making higher education open to all.
Welcome to Universitas Terbuka. Universitas Terbuka, or UiTM, is the 45th State University of Indonesia, launched on September 4, 1984. The head office is located at Pondok Cabe, South Tangerang, and is spread over 16 hectares. As a central university campus, Universitas Terbuka emphasizes the importance of professional concept and advanced technology, while at the same time preserving green spaces and a natural environment. As a pioneer and innovator of distance higher education, Universitas Terbuka has 39 regional offices throughout Indonesia and one dedicated for students living overseas. The adoption of a flexible learning system allows UiTM students to learn wherever they are and whenever it suits them. UiTM provides learning opportunities for all individuals to higher education. Universitas Terbuka provides high-speed broadband and dedicated workstations for its staff in order to serve its students in Indonesia and across the globe. UiTM's head office is composed of several main units. These are the Information Communication Technology Unit. This is responsible for information and communication technology management, which involves network management systems and application development information, as well as communication technology. The Multimedia Development Center is responsible for content development for teaching through creating imagery, animation, audio, video production, and more. The Learning Material Distribution Center is responsible for managing all the daily activities of a centralized distribution center and warehouse. The library is responsible for the development, selection, and maintenance of the learning material collection and the ordering, processing, and cataloging of all library materials. The Examination Center is responsible for the organization and administration of examinations. The Rectorate building contains the offices of the Rector and Vice-Rectors. The Bureau of Finance, General Affairs and Partnership is responsible for carrying out financial affairs and the university's planning, administration and management. The Bureau of Student Administration and Planning takes care of academic and administrative services, including a contact center that serves the needs of students. The core teaching and learning functions of the university are conducted through 4 faculties. These faculties offer diploma, bachelor, master, and doctoral programs. These faculties are the Faculty of Economics, the Faculty of Law, Social and Political Sciences, the Faculty of Science and Technology, and the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training. At present, Universitas Terbuka has a student body of just over 350,000 from every corner of Indonesia and more than 50 other countries. Universitas Terbuka, making higher education open to all.
Pendidikan adalah wahana untuk menggapai mimpi dan mengubah masa depan menjadi lebih baik. Hari gini, nggak ada alasan buat nggak kuliah. Kita bisa kuliah tanpa mengorbankan kegiatan yang lainnya. memisahkan waktu dan tempat pun bukan masalah. Siapapun kalian dan dimanapun kalian berada, ciptakan kampus untuk kuliah dan kampus yang akan mendatangi kalian. Ya cuma UT yang bisa begini.
Pendidikan jarak jauh. Terdapat di lebih dari 40 provinsi dan di luar negeri. Bahan ajar mudah didapat.
Anda sedang mendengarkan UT Radio, Open Education.
Diikuti berbagai macam profesi, mencetak lulusan berkualitas. Universitas terbuka tanpa batas.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Good morning everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining with us today. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Novita Nugraheni. Everyone can call me Novita. I will be the host of this event. Welcome to the fourth webinar of Department of Accounting, which held as an interactive talk show. Today, Saturday, August 20th, 2022, we are presenting Acceleration of Public Services Through Innovation, Sharing Experiences Regarding Innovation. We will examine experiences regarding innovation, both locally and internationally, to accelerate public services. Presented by Universitas Terbuka, Association of Public Accounting Lecturers Institute of Indonesia Chartered Accountants, the Association of Public Sector Accounting Educators, and Malaysia Accounting Association. I would like to say my warm welcome and thanks to our excellencies, Dr. Meirani Harsasi SE M.Si as the Dean of the Faculty of Economics, Yeni Widyastuti SE M.Si as the Head of Accounting Department, Ratna Marta Dewi SE M.Sc as the Head of a Public Financial Accounting Program. Your Excellencies, thank you for your presence and being with us for today's talk show. And also, Committee Team Talk Show who have worked hard from preparation to conducting the talk show. Good morning, everyone. Keep up the spirit until the end of this talk show. And now, I would like to extend my warm welcome to our four honorable speakers and also the moderator. Professor Ali Muktiyanto SE M.Si, Vice Rector for Finance, General Affairs, and Lecturer of the Public Financial Accounting, Universitas Terbuka. Professor T.S. Dr. Imbarine Bujang, the Audit Exam Committee and Oversight and Risk Management Committee in Institute for Development Studies Sabah, and Professor of Finance and Accounting Faculty of Business and Management, University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. Associate Professor Dr. Siti Zabedah Saidin, Tuanku Puteri Intan Safinaz, School of Accountancy, University Utara Malaysia, and Secretary of Malaysia Accounting Association. Dr. Siti Zuraidah Md Osman, a lecturer at School of Educational Studies, Educational Technology, University Science Malaysia. And Dr. Muhammad Mahsun SE M.Si AK, CA, CPA, CVRA, Certi PSAS, Director of Association of Public Sector Accounting Educators, as moderator in this talk show. And also, welcome to all participants on today's talk show. Today, we have 71 participants who have signed up for the talk show, and the participants come from both local and overseas, respective webinar attendees. Before we come to the main session, may I have your attention, please? Let us pray according to our respective religion and beliefs. Prayer begins. Praying done. Well, let us continue. Now, I would like to read out the schedule for today. It will be divided into 6 parts, and here is agenda for today's talk show. First, sing Indonesia Raya Anthem, Mars Universitas Terbuka, and enjoy the spirit of KOPSI by watching KOPSI second and third videos. Second, greetings from the Dean of the Faculty of Economics, Universitas Terbuka. Third, interactive talk show with the guest speakers guided by moderator. And then, question and answer session. Participants are requested to write the question in the chat box. Write your full name accordingly when registering for this talk show, followed by your question and the speaker asked to. And in this session, will be selected 3 best questions from participants, and selected question will be answered directly by the speakers and will be rewarded special prize. And also, there's a giveaway to participants who post this event at your own social media and tag at univ.terbuka, at accountancy.feut, at prodiakp._feut. And don't forget to follow all the social media. Fifth, short speech from the representative of the previous KOPSI champion. And the last one, closing, announcement upcoming event, the 5th KOPSI. Don't forget to post this event to your social media, and that will be a prize that it is interesting prizes. So don't forget to post it and give your best question in the chat box, or you can raise hand in your video, and also you will be get a prize as well. Okay, for the next agenda, singing Indonesia National Anthem, Indonesia Raya, and Hymne Universitas Terbuka, and also enjoy the spirit of KOPSI by watching KOPSI second and third videos. The next one, the spirit of KOPSI. I'm sorry, the hymn of Universitas Terbuka. The next one, the spirit of Kopsi.
Dalam Kopsi tahun ini kita memperoleh 10 finalis berasal dari seluruh Indonesia ya, dari universitas maupun dari UMKM dan juga public sector entities lainnya, di mana topiknya sangat bervariasi dan saya kira ini sangat dinamis ya, berkembang seiring dengan lingkungan di bidang public sector yang juga terus berkembang. Mudah-mudahan nanti bisa kita hasilkan satu jawara-jawara di bidang public sector melalui kegiatan KOPSI di tahun 2021.
ISBES 4 dan KOPSI 3 dihadirkan kembali pada tahun ini dalam suasana COVID-19, namun tidak mengurangi kesemarakannya dan keinovasiannya. ISBES 4 hadir untuk memberikan kesempatan kepada para scholars, para peneliti, para pendidik, dan masyarakat untuk menyampaikan ide-ide dan karya-karya terbaik melalui seminar bertaraf internasional. KOPSI 3 hadir kembali sebagai wujud komitmen UT untuk memberikan fasilitas dan juga sokongan terbaik bagi para inventor, bagi para inovator untuk menghasilkan karya terbaik bagi perkembangan tata kelola sektor publik yang lebih baik. Sukses ISBES 4 dan KOPSI 3.
Hidup KOPSI, hidup UT, kita berkembang untuk sektor publik di Indonesia.
Thank you. On behalf of the committee team, I would like to inform to all participants that in order to keep the talk show productive and productive, first, participants can communicate through the Q&A box in your Zoom control panel or raise hand when Q&A session. But we will mute participants' microphone during the talk show. When participants raise hand, we will unmute the microphone. This event can also be watched live and on delay on UTTV channel YouTube. Now, before we start the event, we will take a photo. Please, to all the participants, turn on the camera. Thank you. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Now, it's time that we've been waiting for. I would like to invite Dr. Meirani Harsasi, M.Si, the Dean of the Faculty of Economics, Universitas Terbuka, to give her opening speech. Dr. Meirani Harsasi, M.Si, time is yours.
Thank you, Novita. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, rahayu. Welcome to the KOPSI Talk Show. Welcome back to the scientific forum that always discuss the latest topics in public sector accounting. This event can be held again because of the committee's hard work, the co-host support, and the resource persons who are all determined to continue to share knowledge more broadly, which is also following UT's tag, making higher education open to all. For this reason, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the speakers for this morning, Professor Ali Muktiyanto, Vice Rector for Finance and General Affairs and Lecturer of the Public Financial Accounting, Universitas Terbuka, Professor T.S. Dr. Imbarine Bujang, the Audit Exam Committee of Oversight and Risk Management Committee in Institute for Development Studies, Sabah, IDS, and Professor of Finance and Accounting, Faculty of Business and Management, University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. Saidin, Tuanku, Puteri, Intan, Safinaz School of Accountancy, UUM, and Secretary of Malaysia Accounting Association. Dr. Siti Zuraidah, Md Osman, a lecturer at the School of Educational Studies, Educational Technology University, Sains, Malaysia. And for Muhammad Masun, PhD, Director of Association of Public Sector Accounting Educators, as moderator in this talk show. Thank you for sharing knowledge and clear view of acceleration of public services through innovation, sharing experiences regarding innovations, which is the theme of today's talk show. This talk show, presented by Universitas Terbuka, Association of Public Accounting Lecturers, Institute of Indonesia Chartered Accountants, the Association of Public Sector Accounting Educators, and Malaysia Accounting Association. I also thank to the co-hosts who continually support the implementation of this activity, the organizers, and of course, all the attendees who have attended and will faithfully follow this talk show until the end. This event is one of the annual work agendas of the Accounting Department of the Faculty of Economics, Universitas Terbuka, to disseminate knowledge to a broad audience for free with the hope that more young people, the next generation, and the wider community will gain access to knowledge that will be able to build the nation. As we all know, innovation is one of the keys to an organization of public sector services success. This is in line with the message from President Joko Widodo, namely to develop various innovations to improve public sector services. One of the factors contributing to the lack of innovation is the lack of appreciation for innovators or inventors. Today, we will examine experiences regarding innovations in Indonesia and Malaysia to accelerate public services. I think this is a precious moment for all of us. Hopefully, this event can provide a more comprehensive meaning because the speakers come from academics and also practitioners. We also hope that the result of this talk show can accelerate the synergy between academics and practitioners, as well as the public, to prepare for the future of accounting. Hopefully, you can actively participate by providing critical questions and answers that will shape and build critical thinking patterns. Of course, there are attractive prizes from co-hosts ready to be given to selected participants. Finally, I would like to congratulate you on this event and have a nice webinar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Merani Harsasi, M.Si, for the opening speech. Now, we come into the main point, which will be led by Dr. Muhammad Mahsun, S.A. M.Si, AK, CA, CPA, CFRA, Certi PSES. Before we turn the time over the moderator, let me read the CV first. Dr. Muhammad Mahsun, S.A.M.Si, AK.CA, CPA, CFRA, Certi PSES, CPA, CHFE, live in Yogyakarta. His bachelor degree from STIE Widya Wiwaha Yogyakarta, Accounting Study Program. His master degree from Gajah Mada University, Science Program. And his doctoral degree from Universitas Teknologi Mara, Malaysia in Financial Criminology. Mr. Mahsun has many experiences. 1. Board of Professional Standards of Certified Public Accountant. 2. Consultative Council of the State Audit Institute, BPKRIDIY. Yang 3. Chair of the Association of Public Sector Accounting Educators. 4. Managing Partner, Head of KAP Mahsun Nurdiono Kukuh and Partner. 5. Director of the Center for the Study of Financial Criminology. 6. Chairman of the Indonesian Audit Organization, Global Assurance Network. 7. ACAA, Learning Partner for Certified in International Public Sector Accounting Standard. 8. Chair or Rector of STIE Widya Wiwaha Yogyakarta. And the last one, Chairman of the Indonesian Public Sector Accounting Lecturer Forum. And also, Mr. Mahsun has published many books. So, I will now hand over to the moderator to guide the presentation of the material and also Q&A. Mr. Muhammad Mahsun, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Novita. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Many thanks to the great speakers. They are innovator in the public sector. We hope provide insight and idea in this forum to develop a better public sector area. And then many thanks to the Dean of UT, Dr. Rani, for this facility. Okay, before we start, let me inform regarding today's talk show. This agenda, talk show program, is a series of public sector innovation program in Indonesia, which we know as namely M.Si. M.Si is an abbreviation of Competition of Public Sector Innovations, which in 2022 will be the fourth event. The objective of M.Si is to give appreciation and motivation to public sector innovators to have the spirit to continue working towards research and development. In this program, we have invited the winner of the 2021 M.Si from Universitas Terbuka. And then I invite also the winner of the 2022 M.Si from Universitas Gajah Mada. And in this talk show, we will discuss with innovators from both Indonesia and Malaysia to increase our passion to continue in the innovation, especially in a public sector domain. Ladies and gentlemen, have joined the speakers in this Zoom room. First, Professor Dr. Ali Muktiyanto from Universitas Terbuka, Indonesia. And then Professor T.S. Dr. Imbarine Bujang from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, UiTM. And then Professor Madya Dr. Siti Zabedah Saidin from University Utara, Malaysia. And then Dr. Siti Zuraidah from University Science Malaysia, USM. So, before the first speaker to present this material, I will inform the curriculum vitae. Maybe I will confirmation Prof. Ali have joined in this forum? Not yet. Okay. I think we can replace the second speakers to present the first, while we will wait Professor Ali, might be in the on the way in this forum. I think we will invite Prof. T.S. Dr. Imbarine Bujang from UiTM to first present in this talk show. And I will inform regarding curriculum vitae from Prof. Imbarine Bujang. Yeah. Please, committee, can you share curriculum vitae of Prof. Imbarine Bujang?
Am I sharing my screen here?
Okay, I think direct from Prof. Imbarine Bujang.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Thank you, Prof.
Should I start?
Committee can stop your sharing and replace by Prof. Imbarine Bujang. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Prof. This is from your presentation.
Yeah. So shall I start my presentation or anything that you want to start with something, Dr. Masul?
Yeah, Novita can stop your share, Madya.
No, because I already share my screen now. Because it's under my control.
Yeah.
Okay, moderator, should I start now?
Yeah.
Mr. Masun, would you like to read the CV first? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Profesor PS Dr. Imbarine Bujang, ASDK, EDK, Academic Qualification, PhD Financial Econometrics from Western Australia, Master of Science Finance, University Putra, Malaysia, BBA Finance from University Technology, Mara, and so on. Yeah, Prof. Imbarine Bujang have many experience in especially finance and accounting, and casual lecture, Curtin University. Yeah, Profesor PS Dr. Imbarine Bujang, ASDK, EDK, the academic qualification, PhD Financial Econometrics, yeah, from Western Australia, Master of Science Finance from University Putra, Malaysia, BBA Honors Finance from University Technology Mara, and so on. Yeah, and Prof. Imbarine Bujang, I think, have many experience, yeah, especially in finance and accounting, and also as a company advisory, Prof. Imbarine Bujang also as a professional consultant. And then he have many awards from Anugerah Tokoh Akademik UiTM 2022, Ahli Setia Darjah Kinabalu, and so on. Okay, I think we will start. Prof. Imbarine Bujang, time and is yours, please.
All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Can someone
clearly.
confirm me? All right. Thank you very
Of
much.
course.
All right. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my utmost gratitude and thank you to UT. I'm trying to spell it right, the pronunciation for Indonesian slang of UT, right? So thank you very much from the School of Economics and also Accounting of the Universitas Terbuka, Indonesia, for inviting me today just to give some of sharing on the public service innovation. And because, like I also could consider myself as a public service officer, all right? On behalf, I'm working with the universities, working with the government, and I'm sure that, we also part and parcel involved in the innovation process. Yeah, all right. Just now, I think it's already been introduced by Dr. Masud about myself, right? But allow me to extend a little bit the introductions. I don't know, it's not moving. Okay, allow me to do some introductions a bit. Yeah, right. Currently, I have managed to produce 27 PhD students, right, and then 14 M.Si by research. And then out of 27 PhD, 15 of them actually graduated with a graduate on time. Now, why I want to show all these things to all of you, because one of my innovation work is actually how to come up with the model on how to make to ensure that the PhD student will graduate on time within the stipulated time, right? So many of my model has been utilized, it's been used by many faculties and especially at my own universities, and to drive the expense of the postgraduate students. Yeah. All right. Now, at the moment, I still have currently 16 PhD ongoing, 11 on the first draft, and 3 international and 8 local students, and then 5 is ongoing, 1 international project, and another 1 MS is waiting for the Senate data. So apart from being the academicians with the universities, I also holding the honorary fellow, from the Center of Business and Economic Research in UK, based in London, and apart from being the being the board committee of the ITS, starting from 2021 until 2023, but I also being appointed by the Sabah state government as a chairman of the Audit and Exam Compliance and Risk Management for Saham Sabah Berhad, start from 2021 until 2023, and also become the finance and board committee for the IDS as well. Yeah, this is a little bit of myself, right? So when we're talking about the the public sector, public service innovation, yeah. So throughout this presentation, this is actually the things that what I'm going to cover. Could be you have more ideas than me, right? But this is actually merely from my own experience and what is like will be my presentation outline. I will start with the introductions and then I will finally conclude my presentation later. Yeah, right. Please bear with me, right? So I will kick off with the introductions. Now, this is actually the person that you always think, like the person who always work with the innovations. Like I keep on following him, the Steve Jobs on the innovation, because this is some things that I think like how we are going to transform ourselves, become an innovator, right? Quite sometimes, okay, if you look at what the Steve Jobs mentioned here, sometimes when you innovate, you make mistake. That is common one. Okay, it's best to admit and quickly and get on with improving your other innovation. So that's why what is telling us here, like it will not never get the perfect one until we keep on doing it, right? That's why it's an ongoing process. Another part of the innovation itself as well is actually really distinguish between a leader and a follower. But when you do an innovation work, it really tells you who you are. Like if you are not a leader for any organization, so you could be a leader of yourself. So the power of the self leadership also will lead you to conduct any kind of work of innovation. Now, a little bit of the innovations and how we are going to strengthen our mind and what is actually needed as a public sector throughout the process of innovation. Now, let me say on the public sector innovation, why is it important, right? So as we know that public sector is actually the most huge expenditure used, okay, especially for the employment, right? So people keep on talking about like spending with the public money quite some time. Like we really have to think about how the innovation is vital and increasing the level of efficiency. So at the same time, it will enhance the service quality. But that's why why is it important? It's really forcing us okay to identify the new scope of services, infrastructure, and also the quality standard, and standard. So we know that every year the government will give us a certain amount of funds to what they call this to operate the country. But at the same time, we have to bear in mind that we still need to look at what other things that we could do in order to enhance the level of efficiency and productivity. Right now, when we look at the public sector itself, right, there are a couple of crises that involve. Now, I will go through with this a little bit first before I go with my experience and how I come up with the idea of the innovations work, right? So it's of course because of the funding crisis. If I look at from ourselves, from the higher institution perspective, right? The funding is actually dropped over the years. So that's why we need to, as a public servant, as a public service officer, we need to find a way and how we're going to manage the fund and the funding crisis as well. The new challenges like the COVID-19 challenges, of course, we need to find another way, the alternative way, by embracing other things like technology and in order to enhance the process. Same thing with the government, with the governance, like especially to control the unethical behavior and so on, right? So this is, I'm not going through with all these things, right? But I think like this is a part of the public sector crisis in which that we can think that what are the things that we need to do in order to proceed with the innovations work, right? All right. Okay, now, when it comes to the public service innovation, of course, like, I think like it's common to anywhere in this world, right? When a person who actually work with the public sector, who actually will get the job offer based on the job description, and they have a clear things. What are the content of the job description itself? But very seldom that we see that in the job descriptions highlighting it's actually part of the work that the public service also to think about the innovation, improving the system or the process of the public service, right? So that's why it could be sometimes be too ambitious, okay, of the innovation program. So at the end of the day, it really can be a substantial problem, and whatever that we want to suggest to do something, and sometimes it become a debate by the politicized, political party and so on, and also will always debated in the media. That's why it must be structural, it must be specific, and what actually that we're going to introduce for the innovation, it will really give some sort of good point, okay, improving the system. Yeah, right. Now, so I look at this way. the way how I define itself when it comes to the public service innovation. So could sometimes, like when I know that at this moment that we are moving from IR 4.0 to 5.0, right? But could sometimes, like we also have to go beyond the technological innovation. Okay, technology is there, but sometimes, like in terms of the human nature, humankind, we still need to consider in terms of how to maintain the social, the environment, as well as under the introduction of the ESG, right? So what need to be done as well can be done beyond the classic product and process innovation. And of course, like something that we need to look at when it comes to the public service innovation, the policy innovation, and also organization innovation, and more on the innovation versus change. Like it's a very sensitive when we're talking about the change, right? When we're talking about the change, innovation, we do the innovation and then we ask people to change, to use it, adapt. It's not an easy thing because when we're talking about the norm, it's not a new, it's not a not new, it's not a what do you call this? It's not a simple. It's not a usual things that they have to do every day. So when it comes to change, like there must be tackling certain things in the way. Therefore, like if we look at the public service innovation, we have to look from these 3I. What I mentioned, the 3I, number one is intangibility. So for example, the issue of transport, storage, and so continually, right? And then interactivity, right? And also the information. So these 3I actually will lead us to come up with a very solid and good public service innovation. Right. Now, then when we're talking about the public sector opportunities, right? So especially in the form of the innovation, right? So we need to look at the same time, like apart from the public sectors that itself doing their daily job and so on, but we also have to think about how we are going to enhance their level of expertise, creativity, and problem solving, right? And the strong public spirit on ethics, motivations beyond personal financial rewards, and then we try to come up with the less controversial and then shift underway. And then come up. This is actually what example that I give here is the competitive framework in the port services in Borneo, right? Because I will tell this story later. Okay, once I go through with this very basic information, right? And now the next one is by allowing the flexibility and experimentation, which target culture and common standard and incentive staff financially, status-wise through service quality and directed creativity. So when we actually blend all these elements, so as I mentioned earlier, like if you're not a leader of the organization, you are a leader of yourself. So it means that you as a public sector, we have to have this spirit in order to come up with a very good attitude in terms of the innovations work. Yeah, right. Now, when we actually highlight that what is important to the public sector, right? It of course, it will not be just immediately, right? Everybody will get involved into the innovation. So it of course is actually come up with many policy changes, challenges, especially number one, the research policy. So I think that this is very important now. Okay, before proceed with the any kind of research, any kind of innovation work, it must be go through with research work first. Okay, come up with the analysis, come up with it before you come up with the innovation. And because like at the end of the day, it will also integrate whatever that we want to suggest, and it will integrate to the public section policy as well. So now what is actually happens at the moment, right? There's a huge number of innovation work, and it gives a lot of implications. And one of the things is actually, like it was presented, the idea was presented in a good manner, but what happened is actually it's just live on paper and it's not being practically implemented at the public sector. So what need to be done is actually, that's why the first one is need to have a process of what they call innovative audit, right? So they know that where is the positions of the innovation and what the other things need to be done in the next stage. Yeah? And then the next one is actually very important as well, like when it comes to the implementation. So assessing the cost benefit analysis is very, very important role. Yeah. And then whether it's a doable or whether it's actually reflect to, it will give a full package of advantage to the people, especially to the social benefit. Yeah. Right. And then another one is looking for the alternative innovation management. So instead, if the current style of management doesn't work to control because of so many initiatives, but at the end of the day, we don't know that which one is actually the best one. So that's why we need to find a way how we are going to control an alternative of the innovation management. Right. Now, as I mentioned, research is actually crucial when it comes to the when it comes to the innovations work, right? So when we do research, definitely we're going to find many commonalities. Yeah, commonalities means that many ideas and instruments can be borrowed, okay, from that outcome. Yeah, so that's why in order to do that, when there's so many commonalities, that's why we have to find a way the different selection process, okay, internal external process of diversity generation too. So quite sometimes, this is about when we actually embracing so much on technology, but we also have to think about the whole structure of our community, whether it's actually can be implemented throughout the system or not, right? And another one is actually much public and private mixture. So this is actually when come to like who actually involved, right? Is it public on private should be joining together, not only the private sector only, right? So it could be many kind of things that can be involved in from the implication of the research. And the next one is the public services highlight area where innovation study are weak, right? And which that I believe many people out there, especially the public sector, really want this good knowledge, yeah, right? And then also we try to explore the new innovation strategy. Yeah. Right. Now, of course, like doing the innovation it's not an easy thing. Quite sometimes it must be encrypted in the person, right? As I mentioned, the important things here is actually it's not about the leaders, but it's about the self-leadership. Yeah. So that's why, like in order to come out with a very good outcome and so on, these are the six elements that I will highlight in terms of the teammate selections, right? And then that you should know that who actually capable and who not capable doing it, right? And then you actually specifically identify the problem and what problem need to be solved, and then you understand the whole structure of the problem, right? And then very important as well to have a smart partnership in terms partnership with others. Maybe as I mentioned earlier, the combination both public sector and also the private sector, right? At the same time, you also can create financial viable in terms of running the project, right? And very important as well, which is actually most people actually forgot about it, like when the idea are not being registered as a copyright or patent with the right institutions. Yeah. And then the number 5, what is the most important thing? You must be able to communicate by writing up the report and through the publication. And last but not least, when it comes to the procedure, like we have to put the end products, application and implementation clearly and make sure that everybody who actually going to use them will understand. This is actually a process, the innovation procedure elements that everyone should know and should have in their mind. Yeah. Now I started with my experience, right? So I started with the research work. The research work in each area in which really it give us a gift where the public sector really want to have it. Like initially, what the first stage that we need to do is we have to ensure that all the innovation product must go to with a solid research. Right, from this outcome of the research, then we conduct the innovation. So if you look at here, the students that I've brought into the research work, like we present at the Oxford University in 2019, right, before the pandemic. Then 3 months after the outcome being released through the presenting the outcome, and the students actually asking to convert the their research into an innovation and then put into the competitions. Yeah, right. Now some of the example of the outcome. Right. This is some of the activity that we do, attending like what actually the COPSI also doing the same thing. Yeah, right. So this is actually something that I would like to share, like the outcome from the public sector innovations that we do, right? And on your left side is actually where we actually managed to win the Diamond Award. And this is actually, as I mentioned earlier, like we tackling the issue of the port businesses in Sabah especially, but actually we're trying to tackle by having the the achievement of the new Nusantara, Indonesia capital city, where the system that we developed is actually we're going to integrate all the port system in Borneo, right? So now what is actually the outcome from this? This is actually outcome from my PhD students. And at the end of the day, like we register this idea, and then this is actually belongs to universities now. But now we are in the discussion with the state and saying that whether the state actually really want to buy the idea or not. Okay, but the discussion process is still there, right? But this is the reason is because like we are dealing with certain policy, like what they call as a cabotage policy. Cabotage policy means that we cannot direct the export, from Sabah directly export to other country, and it must go to with the port clung. But what we need to do is actually, because the port does not make any businesses due to because of when the cargo arrive from Port Klang and then to Sabah, it's a full pack of the cargo, but when they return back to Port Klang, it's empty. That's why we designed one model in which that the model actually capture the social, the employment, and as well as improving the living cost. Okay, at the same time, like we can help out in terms of how we are going to improvise the port system in Borneo. Right, that is actually related to the innovations work with the Sabah state government. Yeah, and then the second part in the middle, this is actually we won the Diamond Award due to the COVID-19. So all is actually presented through online. So this is actually we sensing the accounting conservatism. So it means that choosing the right candidate. And what is actually being suggested here, because like many of our GLC, our government linked company actually appointed the wrong CEO or the wrong board of director due to not in the right positions of the accounting background. By having this application, so it will help the government to choose whether that candidate is actually suitable to be the CEO or not. Right. And the last one is actually we designed some of the apps, what they call is a corporate fraud detection apps. This is actually won the Platinum Award last year. And this is actually we based on like the research outcome that we managed by using the fraud triangle theory. Yeah. All right. Okay, this is some of the example of like from understanding what is needed by this public sector, by public service. Then we convert we conduct the research in the initial stage. Then we convert into an innovation. That it will really tell us what is actually necessary in the innovation process. Yeah, right. Now, so as a conclusion, I guess it's already more than 20 minutes. Yeah, Dr. Masum. So what can be said here? Like the public service innovation, actually it can be enhanced through the activity of research. Right, I'm sure out there, like especially the policymaker, they really desperately want a good knowledge. Means that find the best way, the best solution to solve the issues, right? So that's why innovation study themselves can benefit, to any entity, not only the public sector, but I think the whole system, the whole economics, the whole country could be benefit from here. And it also is essential to the public expenditure, social well-being, and innovation across economy. Like, we know that as a beginning statement that I gave, like most of public sector is actually the most huge amount of expenditure of the country will spend more. That's why, like we have to find out the best way, the way that how we are going to reduce the government cost, yeah, especially like by introducing the social entrepreneurship, right? Shifting the government expenditure via the social work. I think this is something that can be researched further and can come up with the other innovation. At the same time, we taking care of the people standard of living and also enhance the productivity of the country, and we become an efficient management of the public sector. I think that's it from me, Dr. Masum, and I'm over to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Prof. Imbarine. Your presentation is very inspiring. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And then we will invite Prof. Ali Muktiyanto for present and share the experience regarding innovation in public sectors. Prof. Ali Muktiyanto have joined in this forum. And again, I call Prof. Ali Muktiyanto. I invite you to share your presentation in this talk show. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Prof. Ali Muktiyanto. Okay, I think we can continue to Prof. Madya Siti Zabedah, yeah, while we waiting for Prof. Ali Muktiyanto. Might be he is preparing, yeah, for this event. So I invite Prof. Siti Zabedah from UUM to present and share your experience regarding innovation in public sector. Prof. Siti Zabedah.
Hi.
Okay, you have joined.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This is curriculum vitae from Siti Zabedah Saidi, PhD. Academic qualification, PhD in accounting and internal auditing from University of Sheffield, Unique. Yeah. And then magister accounting, yeah, especially in management accounting from UUM, British Aerospace. Bachelor of Accounting, University Utara Malaysia. And I think Prof. Madya Siti Zabedah have many experience also, specialist in accounting, yeah, public sector accounting. Yeah. Associate Professor Tuanku Puteri Intan Safinaz School of Accountancy, Universitas Utara Malaysia, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Accountancy, Universitas Utara Malaysia, and also Lecturer, Faculty of Accountancy, UUM, yeah, until now, I think. Yeah. Many publication and research, yeah, I think Prof. Siti Zabedah conducted too. So we will invite Prof. Siti Zabedah from UUM. Time is yours.
Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, the moderator, Dr. Mohsun. Okay. For the brief introduction of myself. Actually, my CV is longer, but it's okay. Just give the brief info about myself. And before I start, I would like also to express my gratitude to the organizer, the Faculty of Economics, Open University Indonesia. Right. So before I actually start my presentation, I just want to highlight that I feel I'm very small as compared to Prof. Imbarine, because I don't have those innovation, those products, and so on and so forth. Because when first I was approached by Dr. Mohsun, they just asked me to share experience teaching public sector accounting, right?
Yes.
So I'm here to share my experience of teaching public sector accounting. All right. So meantime, if there is something that I can relate to the innovation, so might be I can explain a little bit on that. Right. So I want to share my screen. Okay. Okay. Right. So I'm from Tuanku Puteri Intan Safinaz School of Accountancy, TISSA, College of Business, UUM. Right. Okay. So as an introduction, okay, as I mentioned to you just now, I am not innovators. Yeah, Dr. Mohsun mentioned earlier that we have distinguished innovators today. No, I don't think myself as an innovator, because I also have a intention to do some innovation, particularly in the public sector accounting, because my main interest of research is public sector accounting and auditing. And the auditing also is basically focusing on the public sector. Okay, but I didn't show my CV about what I've been doing regarding my research and consultation. Right, but for today, I would like to share about sharing experience, my experience of teaching public sector accounting. Okay, so in UUM, we have one course, public sector accounting, where we offer this subject to the undergraduate, undergraduate students for the Bachelor of Accounting, and also Bachelor of Accounting Information System. So in UUM, accounting in UUM, we have two, Bachelor of Accounting and Bachelor of Accounting Information System. All right. So it is what we call it, elective subject, but elective but mandatory. So I still argue with them why they use the word elective, whereas the students have to take this course. Yeah. So the name under the list is the elective, right? So the prerequisite for this paper is the Financial Accounting and Reporting 3. And normally, it's a normal practice that public sector accounting subject is taken by students in their 7th semester. But there are also some students in diploma student, especially in their 4th semester. They already took this PSA. The short form for public sector accounting is PSA. So I normally don't encourage the students in the lower semester to take this PSA, because they need to have some level of, for me, I think they need to have some level of maturity, especially if they want to join my class, right? Okay, so this the basic information, and I also want to share about the course objective, because I'm sharing on the how I teach the public sector accounting subject. So I want to also show the course objective. Okay, the first one, the objective is to ensure that the student understand the important concepts. Yeah, there are a number of concepts that students need to understand and before they can actually go into further topics. Concept of public sector and also public sector financial management in Malaysia. So basically, we focus on a Malaysian environment, right? And the next one, after they have understand the concept, they need also to actually understand the structure of the government in Malaysia, because the structure of government in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in other countries, they are different structure, and the structure is important to be understood earlier, because each of the structure will provide different financial management practices to some extent. Not 100% difference, but to some extent there are differences. Yeah? And also they need to understand the legal requirement. The legal requirement here, we focus on the financial legal requirement. For example, they have to understand the Federal Constitution 1957, but not everything under the Federal Constitution, only the provision under the financial management. Okay. And next, a student need to understand and able to apply the knowledge in terms of preparing the financial management tools, such as they have to be able to prepare the budgeting, okay, to prepare the budget for the federal government, state government, local government, the different structure of the government, and also the statutory bodies. And also the accounting practices of those level of government, financial reporting, and also auditing. Okay. And the last course objective is to discuss and evaluate the relevant issues. There are also other issues that is not covered in the earlier topic. So here in the last topic, we will look at other issues. For example, the issues on governance, the issues on fraud, forensic, and so on and so forth. Okay. I forgot to time it, right? Next is I want to share also, these are the topics, okay, the topics available in public sector accounting subject. Okay, I'm not sure about the public sector accounting educators in Indonesia, to what extent the syllabus that you have in Indonesia. But in UUM, our course will contain the content of our PSA is 10 topics. We have 10 topics altogether, starting from introduction to public sector. This is very important at the earlier part, because I think based on my experience, some of the students, they are majority of the students, they are not familiar with the public sector, with the government. They are not familiar. What they know is about the company, the accounting practice of the company, the auditing of the company, but not the public sector. So that's why we need to introduce to them the public sector. And another important is the government structure, as I mentioned earlier. And then rules and regulation. We have budgeting, accounting practices, financial reporting, and auditing. These are the financial management process in the public sector. And then we also include accountability and stewardship, and also performance measurement. After we have done all those financial management process, we need to measure, okay, to what extent the government have achieved the objective. Because as mentioned by our first speaker just now, public sector receive huge money from the taxpayers, mainly. The main revenue of the government is through the taxes, the taxpayer. Okay, and that's why we need also to include the performance measurement topic, and the last topic is on other issues. So basically, these are the topics that we have in public sector accounting subject. And from all these topics, they all need to do reading, a lot of reading, as compared to the other subject for the financial accounting subject or management accounting. Okay, reading maybe 50-50, but this one, calculation only related to topic 4, budgeting, topic 5, accounting practices, and topic 6, financial reporting. These 3 topics, we test them on the calculation. and also theory. Okay, but the rest all are AC, right? And sometimes for performance measurement topic, I will prepare the final exam where I will give them some sort of a case study, short case study, and also for auditing sometimes. Yeah, this is for
sorry, Prof.
Yeah.
Siti.
Yeah.
Why you conducted this course outline, this material in this pandemic era, when you give the teaching via online media?
Okay, if online media, the course outline is the same because this is the syllabus. Okay, this is the syllabus. Okay, the syllabus, syllabus, the course content actually. Okay, so meaning that these are the topics that we have to cover in order for the student to pass the public sector accounting subject.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to study from topic 1 up to topic 10. Okay, right.
Yes, okay.
Right. So I think maybe the discussion before this is more towards the pandemic area, but now in UUM we are it is mandatory for us, especially for public sector accounting, to conduct classes face to face. Face to face. Now we are using face to face only for 2020 and 2021. That we use the online, and some of the courses in UUM also at the moment they are not face to face. They are using WebEx. Yeah, but for PSA for this semester I've started face to face 100%. Yeah, so that's why my sharing is towards the normal one, not during the pandemic. Yeah, Dr. Masun, is it okay? Yeah, okay, right. So traditionally, okay, when I became the lecturer, traditionally I use the teacher-centered learning. Teacher-centered learning where I go to class and then I just preach. I have slides, I prepare slides, beautiful slides, interactive slides, whatsoever slides, and then I just like this, I explain to them everything, A to Z. Yeah, for every topic, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, up to the 10th topic. So that is the traditional method. And then, okay, we have been introduced to this kind of, because innovation, when I read innovation, not only product, process, it's also method. So for me, I've changed the method. Okay, now in UUM, we are focusing more on the SCL, student-centered learning. Student-centered learning. So for my class, I as much as possible, okay, I try to inculcate the student-centered learning environment. Okay, where this kind of learning are focusing on the students. Okay, and me as a lecturer, I just facilitate their learning, teaching and learning. And for my class, the class arrangement is where we have a round table. All the student will sit on the round at the round table in a group or a team member of 5 to 6 students. Number of students is depend on number of total student per class. So normally we limit the student to 40 students only. Okay, 40 students only. And student-centered learning approach can be done only if you have a small class. If you have math lecture, I don't think we can use student-centered learning. The math lecture, normally we will use a traditional approach where you use a teacher learning center. Teacher learning centered learning. Okay. So normally for my class, a group of 5. So I have 8 groups. So 8 round tables in the classroom. Okay, and the selection of team members, okay, is based on whether it's a convenient selection or specified selection. Convenient selection means that whether I give them the choice of who they want to pick as their team member, okay, or I can combine them in a group based on what we call it, their location, yeah, the student accommodation, or the specified one is where I determine who will be in the group. Okay, so each semester I will choose different selection of team members. Sometimes I give them their own preference, who they want to be their team member, and sometimes I fix. It depends. It depends on my discussion with them in the first class meeting. Okay, the first class meeting is very important because as a lecturer and facilitator, when we use SCL, I need to plan everything for the whole semester. And I need to make sure that the student understand day one when they join the class. From day one, they need to know my class, the expectation of my class, what they need to do, what they can do, what they cannot do. Okay, so we will discuss from there on how to select the team members. Sometimes they just say that, oh, doctor, please allow us to pick our own team member. So I say, okay, right. So SCL, when I use SCL, student-centered learning, I need two-way communication, two-way active learning. Okay, meaning that the student need to actively participate in all the class activities. Okay, so here I just explain a little bit about active learning approach, where it involves the involvement of students directly, where students need to involve. If students don't talk, the class, nothing happen in the class. I will wait for them to. I will start the talking and then I will wait for them to continue, okay, to involve in all the discussion. And then the good thing about active learning approach is that it can provide a deeper and more interesting learning experience, because we can see that some of students, they are very passive, they are very shy, they don't want to talk. Why this happened? So we want to know why some people they just don't want to give opinion, they just don't want to talk, especially for public sector accounting, because if they don't read the book, they don't have any idea, they cannot say anything. Yeah, so that's why active learning, they have to prepare beforehand before coming to the class. And also from active learning approach, they can give opportunity to give feedback. Yeah, and the student know to what extent they have the understanding about certain topic, certain issues or certain concept. So that is a good way where we can ensure the student have more understanding about public sector accounting. All right. Okay. So the most important thing about active learning is that we want to encourage where students more engaged. Students are more engaged in the learning. Not like the traditional approach where students just come to class, sit there, and then just listen. I don't know whether they are listening to me or they are daydreaming or they are thinking about something else. They look at me, but sometimes they are not thinking of what we are talking about. So that's why active learning approach is very important. And I use this in my class, not only for public sector accounting, actually in whatever classes that I have to teach. Okay. So the strategy that I use, okay, these are the things that I normally use in my classroom for face-to-face lecture. Okay, flipped classroom. I think people from education, they know already about what is a flipped classroom. So this flipped classroom for me, I don't go into the detailed one, just the simple one. Okay, normally I will focus on the topic presentation. Okay, for example, I have 10 topics, okay, 10 topics, and I have 8 groups of students because each group consists of 5 students. So 5 times 8, 40, total 40. If happen that my class, for example, 41, so one group will consist of 6 students. I allow like that, okay? So for flipped classroom, we flip from the traditional where I give them the topic presentation. So in flipped classroom, the student have to prepare. So student engage with new material new material because they are new to this subject. Yeah, the first day they come to class, what is this public sector accounting? They don't know anything, so they have to engage with the new material individually at home, at college, wherever, in order for use in the classroom. Yeah? And they use in the classroom time will be used to expand upon the topic under the guidance of the lecturer. So meaning that I will guide them through the presentation. So what students need to do during the flipped classroom is students need to read beforehand, and then they need to prepare. They need to prepare the slides. And we have made some arrangement schedule for them to present to class. So meaning that topic 1, for example, first day of class, I will give all the information, all the whatever information that they need to understand, to know, and to do, the guidance, so on and so forth. Then I will also prepare the schedule when to start for the second topic. Normally, I will start at second topic. Second topic is the government structure. First topic, normally I will introduce, because for me, the first topic is very important for students to get to know. Okay, so I will start with topic 1, introduction, and topic 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 will be continued with the students. And 10, I will take back, because we have only 8 groups and we have 10 topics. So that's how I manage the flipped classroom for topic presentation. And students like it. Students like where they have to read, they have to prepare the slides, and then they can interact with their friends as well. Okay, so the topic presentation is based on the topic in the syllabus, and I will assign each group 1 topic only. Okay, they can do anything. Our class is 1.5 hours. So I allow them to use about 1 hour to do the presentation of the topic. Within the 1 hour, they can do anything. So some students, some group, after the end of the presentation, they will give quiz. They will give some exercise to the other students, who are not presenting, so that they have interaction with the audience. Okay, then after they wrap up everything, they have finished everything is satisfied, I will give feedback. Maybe some of the concept, they have a misunderstanding of the concept, or some of the explanation is not deep enough. So I will add on from that. So I facilitate their presentation after everything has been done by the students in the group. Okay. So that is for the topic presentation. So normally this is the first thing that students have to prepare along the semester. Okay, so if they got the topic 9, so they can rest a little bit, because why? The people from the topic 2, 3, 4, they have to prepare earlier. Normally each week 1 topic. Okay. Then beside that, I have also used group case studies. Case studies, I will give them cases, sometimes short cases, and sometimes I will use teaching case studies. Teaching case study will be a more comprehensive case study. So it depends on the semester. Okay, and this is good where you can use to get the student to interact and work together in a group to solve the problem and also a situation given. Sometimes if I think that I need the student to only engage maybe half an hour, so I will give them short cases. Maybe in a semester, 2 short cases. Or if I want them to have a more interactive situation, I will give them a teaching case study. And this will take a few weeks to settle. Okay, so that is the second thing I normally do. This is also interesting, role play. Okay, so a typical role play exercise, we see students taking on the role of a character in a particular situation, encouraging them to solve problems using approaches and skills relevant to the situation. So normally role play is a group work. Okay, a group work where I will allow them to do a scenario. They can come up with their own scenario, their own problem, okay, their own situation. Okay, for example, they can have a parliamentary debate for the topic of budgeting. So how to do this? They have to go back and search, discuss in group, then come back to class and do the debating. Okay, or they can also do a role play for the exit conference. Audit conference means that the audit process. One of the audit process is to have the exit conference where they have the management and also the auditors. They want to show to discuss the feedback about the auditing, the outcome of the auditing. Okay, and also role play about the public account committee meeting. So they can pretend that this one is the parliament member. This one you can become the head of the ministry. So you can become anybody that is supposed to sit in that particular meeting. So they have to know, okay, PAC meeting consists of what are the people consist in the PAC meeting. So they need to have this information before they can actually do the role play. Okay, and also I didn't put here. They can also do the role play as if they are having a conference where they have this moderator. Okay, moderator that like what we have today, and then we have the speaker. Okay, the speaker. So 4 person can become the speaker and 1 become the moderator, and they can talk about the topics in the syllabus. Right. I have to go quickly. And also I use the government website. Here I ask the student to go to the specific government website and see what are the current practices that the government do now. For example, National Audit Department, Treasury of Malaysia. Yeah, so for Treasury of Malaysia, they can look at the accounting practices, the basis of accounting, the guideline, the rule, whatever is given in the government website, because this is the current actual information. Because sometimes the textbook is quite outdated to some extent. Okay, 20 minutes already. And then group project, and also in-class activities and discussion. So activity and discussion in class, normally I give spontaneously, and they have to sit in class in their group and discuss, do the discussion. So normally they have to be to make sure that they are prepared and they are ready when come to class. Okay, beside that, I also use Kahoot quizzes, Kahoot quizzes, and also Google Form for self-reflection. At the end of the semester, I will ask them to fill up the Google Form to do self-reflection. And also another thing is interactive marking, where the use of Pro, where we map the marks based on the question and we mark in the PDF. And this is suitable for structured question. And in UUM, we have UUM online learning system, okay, where we have the announcement, activities, and also resources. So all these things I use during the semesters to give assignment, quiz, forum, to chat with them, okay, and also to give some concept through the glossary, and also to share files, share materials, share notes or whatsoever. So as a conclusion for me, for my class, what is important is active learning, where we involve the student engagement, and we want to boost the students' confidence. Because why? In UUM, public sector accounting is not a really popular subject. Yeah, so I want also, apart from learning public sector accounting, I want also my student to be confident to talk to the audience. Yeah, so when they throughout the semester, they already have to communicate. They actively involved in student in the classroom. Then I think at the end of the semester, they will feel the difference. Before first day of the class until the last day of my class, they will feel the difference. I will allow them to say whatever they want, because sometimes they are very shy to talk in English. They try to ask permission to talk in Bahasa. So I said, no, you try to speak in English as much as possible. So that's how I try to motivate my students. So I share me and my students. This is the current one, July, few months ago in July, and this is our last class. All right, thank you. I think that's all. Sorry, Dr. Masood. I think I exceeded 30 minutes. I thought that I only give less than 30 minutes. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Prof. Madya, Siti, Zabedah. Very good sharing, yeah. I think it is very important, yeah, especially for lecturer in public sector accounting to improve the teaching methodology in this condition, yeah. We have to make the improve and motive our teaching methodology in order can deliver many knowledge in efficient and effective. Yeah. Once again, thank you, Dr. Zabedah.
Welcome, Dr. Masood.
Then we invite Prof. Ali. Yeah. Prof. Ali.
Good morning, Pak Masood.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Very late to join this morning.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Prof. Ali Muktiyanto. This session is yours to give your experience and share for us, yeah, regarding in public sector innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, Prof. Ali Muktiyanto, the academic qualification, doctoral in accounting from Universitas Indonesia, Master of Science in Economics and Accounting from University Pajajaran Bandung, Bachelor in Accounting, STA Tridharma Bandung. Prof. Ali Muktiyanto have many experience also. Currently, he conducted as a Vice Rector for Finance and General Affairs of Universitas Terbuka. Prof. Ali Muktiyanto also have many awards from Presiden Indonesia Joko Widodo regarding Satya Lancana Karya, Satya 10 tahun. Yeah. This is very inspiring for us, yeah, from experience and dedicated Prof. Ali Muktiyanto. Okay, Prof. Ali Muktiyanto, time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Masood. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to apologize because I'm very late to join this morning because other agenda and the same interesting for me. But in this session, I just to share the UT's experience in innovation. I prepare just 2 slides. Yeah. I want to discuss with other speakers to learn and to improve the quality of innovation. Okay. Sorry. Can I share the PowerPoint? The committee. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pak Masood?
Yes.
Okay.
Please, Prof.
Okay.
Clear.
in the limited time, I want to share the experience of UT innovation. We have at least three areas of UT innovation. The first one about the learning process, and the second one the academic management support, and the third one management or governance of UT institution, and the fourth one is the three dharma perguruan tinggi, especially learning, research, and public servant. So
sorry. Committee, can you share full screen here?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the first one about the innovation and learning process. We know the UT is the open on distance learning institution in higher education, and the first public university that's the modules that's open and distance learning modules. The characteristic of UT is distance learning. The distance learning, the characteristic by the separate of the resource, the material, the student and the lecture. So the separated mediated by technology, by media, recorded or printed or broadcast. So the innovation is the essential of UT for sustain, for growth, and for profit. So the innovation for UT is a must. It's a must. So the first one, we innovated in learning process. Our student have to student by independent learning. So the learning material is very essential for our student to study, to explore, and to improve her or his knowledge. So the learning material have to power to explanatory, to explain, to instruction, to instruction, and so on. So in the last decade, we innovate to make the digital learning material. We said the printed learning material. Every student, after submission or registration in UT system, automatically give digital learning material. And the second one, in the delivery system for learning process, we have the learning management system operated by Moodle that student can study by online, by offline, synchronous or asynchronous model. Our student can study everywhere, anyhow, and anytime by learning management system designed in asynchronous approach. But in our innovation, we combine with synchronous approach by online learning, by face-to-face, but in digital learning. And at the end of our process, the student have to assess the learning process. So we innovate in assessment by online learning, online proctoring assessment, online assessment proctoring. So by machine, every student can assess him or herself with online assessment by technology that the monitor by machine, not human being. So the second areas of UT innovation is academic management support. Every student can access the www.ut.ac.id to access our system, and after the first access and input the data, every student can record in our system, and along as a student in UT, the data still remain. Sorry, and the second one of academic management support of the innovation area, we make the student record system as a one-stop service online system from admission to graduation. So UT have a system open-ended learning from the traditional approach to modern approach by printed, by correspondence, or to full online learning. And the third one, we have to change our institution to make efficient, to effective and economic. So the innovation in management or governance of UT institution is the essential tool. Now we build the integrated budgeting, financing, and reporting information system. So this application, the super apps, make us efficient and more faster, more cheaper, and more better as an institution in public sector. And the phenomena of our innovation in management or governance is procurement management information system. As we know, in Indonesia, procurement is the problem because the very bureaucratic, long process, and so on. But we, by our application, by our system or innovation in procurement, we can reduce the inefficiency, more 40% efficient after we operate the our super apps. So, and the last one, the areas of the innovation in Tridharma perguruan tinggi, especially in education, research, and public servant. So, I am and our team, my team, have the gold medal to innovation in Korea last year with the innovation in application by applied research by the application. The title is whistleblower system and audit-based risk. Pak Mason, because the limitation of time, that is the end of our sharing. So we invite the discussion. Thank you, Pak Mason, and the speakers from Malaysia, Pak Bujang, Bu Siti, nice to meet you, and all participants. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wow, thank you very much, Prof. Ali. I know you are very busy, every day very busy. And in this time you have shared your experience about UT innovation. We know that UT is the leading in distant learning, yeah. And now Prof. Ali already shared about the innovation in UT environment for the learning distance. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Ali Muktiyanto. Okay, we meet the last speakers, yeah, and then we make the talk show. I know have many questions in chat box, and we will complete it, the presentation of all speakers, and then we continue question and answer and talking, yeah. So we invite the last speakers, Dr. Siti Zuraidah. Yeah. Dr. Siti Zuraidah from University Science Malaysia. The academic qualification, PhD from Instructional System Development, University Science Malaysia, Master Education, College University Tun Hussein Un, Malaysia, and Bachelor in Accounting from UUM, Malaysia, ya. Dr. Siti Zuraidah binti Md Osman already have many awards from Anugerah Pekerja Cemerlang Bulanan PTSB and many awards, I think, yeah. Currently, Dr. Siti Zuraidah as a lecturer in USM and have many career, yeah. Politeknik Kuching Sarawak, Politeknik Tuanku Sultanah Tohiyah Kulim Kedah, and so on, yeah. Any experience from Dr. Zuraidah as educational technology ICT in education, video lecturer design and development. Yeah, yeah. I invite Dr. Zuraidah. Time is yours. Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you so much, our moderator, Dr. Masun. And also I'm very honored to be here as a speaker, which has been invited by Dr. Masun. And also for your information, my lecturers at USM is Prof. Madya or Associate Professor Dr. Siti Zabedah, who are teaching me, I think I can't remember it now, which is public sector accounting. Okay, and then I have a big name here, Prof. Imbarine, and also Prof. Ali, which I think I'm the least experienced here, but I will try my best to deliver the topic that has been given to me, which I think I'm going to share my experience regarding the workshop that I have given to the lecturers since at my past institution in polytechnics and also in my current institution, which is in USM. So actually, I'm a lecturer of accounting, diploma in accountancy, which before that, I need to share first. Okay, so before I'm a lecturer of accounting in diploma accountancy at Polytechnic, then I moved to USM. before that, can you see my screen?
Not clear, Doctor.
Is it clear?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. How about now?
Not yet.
Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is a topic I think given by Dr. Masum to me for C talk show, which it is on technological innovation and also future trends in public service technology. As mentioned by Prof. Imbarine, that we are a public servant which we serve in the public sector university. And also in my past institution, which is at Polytechnic, we also full funded by Ministry of Higher Education for public higher education institutions. So as my talk here is about public higher education institution and also for private, okay, which I think all the innovation and also whatever technological education tools that and teaching approach that we need to implement is based on our Ministry of Higher Education guideline. So this is the outline of my talk today, which 20 minutes of technological innovation, future trends, and also sharing experience here. Okay, first it's about technological innovation in teaching and learning process. So what we can say about this picture is this is what happened currently, not only for our lecturers or our teachers, but also for the students. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, the issues in the innovation of education technology. Okay, not only for teachers, but also for students when it comes to the online learning. Okay, so this is what is innovation. Okay, so we are afraid to do the innovation because it seems that we have this workload. Okay, so this is what happened when we do. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just now I see a notification said that host mute me, so that's why. Okay, so this is what we need to know, where creativity is thinking up new things, but innovation is doing new things. I think when Dr. Siti Zabedah said that it's not an innovator, but for me, this whatever she did, okay, from the first teaching experience until now is the innovation. Okay, only that I think our prof here, okay, have many experience on being, putting up his innovation to the competition, which I think is very inspire us to, take out our innovation, okay, to let know to the others and also to be evaluated in the competition and also used, okay, by the public sector university or schools. Okay, so this is what we need to do first. Okay, as Prof. Imbarine already shows about what is the process of being an innovator there. Okay, next is okay. So what are the components of innovation? Okay, to be an innovator or to be an instructional designer as a teachers or a lecturers, we need an idea first, then the change. Okay, so this is what we need to do to be innovation, to do an innovation to our teaching and learning process. Okay, the idea and also the change. Okay, next, the steps of innovation. When you have the idea, of course, you have to implement it. Then only you need to see the outcome that results from the execution of the idea and produce a change. Okay, this is the most important part of the teaching and learning process. Okay, so if you have the product, if you have the outcome in your own teaching and learning process, then maybe we can move forward into what Prof. Imbarine have talked to us about the process of doing the innovation of your own teaching materials. Okay, And then this is the educational innovations. Okay, so it is not limited to the product, the application, what we call the prototype. Okay, it also can be innovation on your pedagogical theory that you use. Okay, for example, before my experience, I'm using behaviorism. Okay, I'm a behaviorist before, because at my time we are teacher-centered. Okay, then came out outcome-based education, which we need to transform or shift our pedagogical theory into constructivism. Okay, which we have to make our student to be student-centered. Okay, so this is one of the educational innovation, which you also can be a part of your innovation, what you have done today. Okay, then the teaching technique, the instructional tools, the learning process, institutional structure. As mentioned by Prof. Ali just now, okay, University Terbuka already done their part in the instructional structure, okay, which when implemented, it produced a significant change in teaching and learning, okay, which lead to better student learning. This is the most important. Okay, when we want to do an innovation, it must lead to the better student learning. Okay, next, this is what the outcome that we want to, which is quality education. When we talk about educational innovations, this is the most important part. This is not about, the product that you are going to produce. This is not about the lecturers, not about the teachers. It also need to integrate the student needs, which I think we have students here, which our students are, they need to achieve the learning outcome to become the quality graduates. I think the institutional, the lecturers, all of us are taking part on this, including the learners, which is the students. Okay, the content, the process, and also the outcome. This is what we call as the outcome-based education process. Okay, so the history of educational innovation, it's already started from our Prophet Muhammad, where we can see he has used this 15 innovation, start by telling a story method, observation, correction method, and then Q&A method, okay, until the last one is through gradualism method. Okay, so this is already really interesting articles, okay, which I think all of you can read the articles which I provide here in the slides, and the slide I will give to our moderator so that it can share with all the participants. Okay, so next is about the educational innovation. Okay, so this is where we have the instructional tools, the history. Okay, so I will share about the history here, which is, I already give the link, okay, in the slide, and I think all of you can explore this one. This is one of educational tools, which also is a free tool. You can use this as your teaching material. Okay, you can develop this as your innovation for your teaching material to give to the students. And also the students can use these tools to submit their assignment, okay, or do their presentation. Okay, so it is free. But if you want more features, of course, you have to purchase it. Okay, so this is the history of educational technology. I think all of you can explore this, okay, which we know that this history has been, the pioneer of the first one is the instructional design, okay, from since 19th, okay. So we have the radio broadcasting, we have the videos, and so on. Okay, so this is where we have the audio and video material, okay. And as you can see, the audio instructional material started with the economic subject, okay, where they teach microeconomics using a video lecture, okay, since 1960 or since way back before. Okay, so we are going to move forward into the future trends. So what are the future trends? But this one, I think it is very interesting for our students to know what are the past innovation that have been done, what are the past instructional technology or the teaching material or the learning material that use the past technology, which I think it cannot be imagined right now by our students. Okay, but when they read this, they look at these pictures. Okay, I think our students will be glad that they are in the 20s with all the internet, with all the what we call okay, with all the device that they have. Okay, so that is what the educational innovation is all about. Okay, so this is also the history of educational technology, which I put it the link here. I think all of you can look at this history, okay, to show to our students. The most important is our student. I think all of us, the lecturers, already been through, okay, the histories of educational technology, which I think, as Dr. Siti Zabedah already mentioned, okay, in her past teaching material, just use slides. Okay, so that is what my lecturer used in my degree academic session. Okay, so that is what my lecturer are using, but now we have to change it. So what are the current innovation in teaching and learning? Okay, so this is where I think this is used by all the countries, okay, SDG, which we need to produce, okay, the quality education, okay, not only for higher education institution students, but also for school students, not only in a city area, but also in a rural area. So this is what the goals that all the countries, okay, worldwide need to achieve, okay. And then, okay, this is how are you going to achieve, okay, with all the workloads that you have. Please pick which one. Okay, maybe you can start with a little one, which is the teaching technique. Okay, maybe you use one of the instructional tools, change the instructional tools from textbook into application. Okay, and then the learning process. Okay, maybe it will change, not only using a textbook or not only a one-way communication. Okay, but it is in the two-way communication. So this is where you need to start from, okay? And then this is the instructional design, okay? Which in education technology, we have all this instructional design. Okay, the design is the guideline, okay, for us to develop our teaching material. Okay, the teaching material is not for the lecturers. It is for the students, okay? And students also, you are not going to depend on the lecturer instructional materials or teaching materials. Our students also can develop their own learning material. Okay, for instructional design, of course, this is the model that you can use. There is a lot. Okay, but the simplest model is ADDIE. Okay, which is called RD model. Okay, we have the steps where we need to analyze first. Okay, and then design, develop, implement, and evaluate. This is the circle or the process, the phases, okay, that you need to do in order for you to produce teaching material or learning material that will give a good outcome, okay, which is can achieve the learning objective, and also can you can do the innovation to your teaching material. Okay, so this is the RD model. Okay, so you can exploit, it is a simple model. This also can be a flow of your teaching and learning process, your lesson plan. Okay, so this is where the role of the lecturers. You are the one who have to design this, not the students. The students will receive what you deliver, the student will receive what are the teaching material that you use, and they are going to learn on it. Okay, so this is the learning method. I think Open University Jakarta also use the hybrid learning, online learning, as we see the what we call the profile video of University Terbuka. Okay, and then our Prof Ali already mentioned about what are the technological support. Okay, the facilities. Okay, so this is what we are doing right now. Okay, I think it can be very high use of hybrid learning, online learning because of COVID-19. Okay, if not because of COVID-19, I think the lecturers still have slides and the LCD projectors. Okay, although we already changed our traditional education to outcome-based education. Okay, but because of COVID-19, all of us are having this learning method. Okay, implement this. Okay, next, this is also used by, I think, maybe all the lecturers, okay, the teachers, when we do our full online learning. Okay, so we are moving forward. Okay, for example, after COVID-19, although we have face-to-face classroom, physical classroom with our students, I think we are going to use still the online sources. Still need to have the online or the technological tools. Okay, because we are not going backward. We are not going to, cut off all the technological tools, all the online session with our students, okay? Because we don't know what will come in the future. Okay, if you read UNESCO report, it seems that Singapore, okay, don't have a huge difference between before COVID and also when it comes to COVID, because they already implement the online learning or blended learning before COVID-19. So when it happens, they don't have problem with the online learning, okay, because the students already exposed to the online learning. Okay, so this is what are the issues. Okay, but I think when I listened to Prof. Ali presentation just now, it seems that Open University already have done this. Okay, and also synchronous and asynchronous learning. Okay, which I think this combination is a very good combination based on my research. Okay, so you have to combine this because it depends on your student profile. Okay, so you are the one who are going to design, so you need to know about this. What are the synchronous learning? What are asynchronous learning? Okay, so I think all the lecturers are familiar with these terms nowadays, okay, because of the online learning. Okay, you also can use gamifications. Gamification is not only about the apps, it's not only about the products, the game, but the element in gamification. Okay, so where we have the engagement, the reward, achievement, motivation, learning, and challenge. Okay, so before we are using, for example, activities, activity 1, activity 2, maybe you can change into challenge, challenge 1, challenge 2, and then give reward to your students. Okay, it is not only for online platform. You can also use this element in your classroom, but you are innovating your learning method, okay, from, for example, blended learning into gamification, blended learning plus gamification. So we have a lot. You can mix and match. It depends. You are the designer, okay? The lecturer is the designer, okay? But the students is the one who provide the information for the lecturer to design, okay? So this is a part of learning approach. I think you have a lot of learning approach, but this is the skills I think in our 21st centuries, we need to have this critical thinking, creativity, collaborations, all this also need to be designed in your lesson plan. Okay, so this is where we have to design. This is where we have to think of, okay, the lecturers. Okay, so it is not an easy task, okay? Of course, you have to think, you have to design. When it comes to design, it takes time, okay? But when you use with it, I think you don't have problem, okay? Because you are used with all the student profile. What are their needs? Okay, you know the syllabus. Okay, you know what are the guidelines that you need to follow that already produced by your institutions, by your Ministry of Higher Educations. Okay, so this is where you need to mix and match. Which one? Or you can try and error. Okay, so this is what our Prof. Imbarine said just now. It must be start from the research. So I think I'm starting from these first phases, okay, which I'm doing a research on this first. And my student also, school teachers are doing research on this. Okay, maybe we can come out with one innovation, okay, which can be used by the schools or by higher education institution, and maybe we can share with Open University Jakarta. Okay, so this is where the education technology take place, where we can share. We don't have any boundaries. Okay, as I see the news yesterday, okay, in Jakarta, I think Malaysia Ministry has gone there and we are having a discussion or collaboration on the bandwidth, okay, with Jakarta. So it is not limited for the private sector, I think, also in the education sector, okay, because education also in the private sector, public sector, okay. So this is where, okay, the collaboration came in with other country, okay. And then this is the approach which I think in 2020, but now we have a lot, okay, playful, experiential, computational, embodied, and multi-literacies. Okay, so this is where innovative pedagogies can come in, okay. So maybe this is for a global innovation pedagogies, but I think it is now into our countries, ASEAN countries, innovative pedagogy. We are implementing it now, okay. And then we have, here is the link of the learning approach that you can use. Okay, we have a lot. So maybe this is one of the learning approach which okay, which I think 15 active learning. Okay, it is simple in description. Okay, that you can think of think, pair, share. Okay, and then improve game, brain writing. Okay, jigsaw for accounting students. Okay, so because when we talk about accounting student, it is about technical subject. Okay, and also as Dr. Siti Zabedah mentioned, we have essay subject, okay, which is theoretical. Okay, so when it comes to technical and theoretical, you have to design it differently. Okay, you have to mix and match according to your student profile. So this is what you need to explore. Okay, of course, it takes time. Okay, so for you to explore, it's just a simple go to any web page which give you a simple description on how to use these activities in your class. Okay, and you will think of, is this suitable with my students, with my topic, with my syllabus, with my learning environment? Okay, so this is where you have to think of. Okay, the teachers, the lecturers have to be creative, okay, in order to give, to design a very impactful teaching and learning session. Okay, and then we have MOOC, Massive Open Online Course. Okay, I think this is where we opened our program to all the students, okay, around the world. It is free. And this is where I think we already done this in Malaysia, I think also in our Open University. Okay, maybe you have your Massive Open Online course, okay. And then now in Malaysia, we are going to move into micro-credential, okay, where we have MOOC just now, and then we make it micro, okay. MOOC is a full course, but micro-credential is a part of the course, okay. Everybody can join the course, okay. The tagline is everybody can learn, but you have to pay, and the fee of the course is not as much as MOOC. Okay, so we want everybody can learn, not a full course, but a part of the course. When they collect the digital badges, they are going to be given a full certificate of a full course. Okay, so this is one of the what we call the new program offered. Okay, encouraged by our Ministry of Higher Education. Okay, to all our public institutions. Okay, so this is what we are doing right now, the micro-credential, and I'm a part of the committee to do the framework of micro-credential, which it is not only offered for the students, but also for others who are not the students of the university. And also we are going to collaborate with all the universities, okay, and the students can learn from other universities using the micro-credential, okay. And then this is the top tools of learning where we have here, okay. Okay, this is where I think all of you can have a look here, which we have a survey done by this web page, okay. So this is the top tools. We have here 300, okay, globally around the world, okay. This might give you an idea what are the tools you can use in your class. Either it is in the classroom, physically, or it is online. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the top 10, and then we have a lot here. Okay, just click here, and then you are going to, and then you have brief description here. Okay, and make it larger. Okay, so we have a brief description. Okay, as you know, YouTube, of course, is the top one. Why? Everybody are using a video lecture. Okay, no one is giving a lecture in the classroom. Most of the lecture are using flipped classroom right now because we want our students to participate in the class. If you are giving a lecture, I think the students is going to be bored. Okay, so that's why most of the teachers are using YouTube to give a lecture. But if you go to the library, okay, when I go to my USM library, I see the students is watching the video. Okay, when I ask him about what are the video that he watched, is it from his lecturer? He said no, from other lecturer, from other institutions. So this is the platform where you can share. I think Open University also have their YouTube channel on lesson, online lesson, and you can share. You are going to have 1,000 of you from the students, but you need to produce a very quality YouTube video lecture. Okay, and then Zoom. Okay, this is what we are using right now. Okay, the description, the second one. Okay, and then you can just click and you can look at, it will guide you to the website. Okay, for example, Canva, I think most of us are using Canva. It is graphical tools. Okay, you can give this top tool to your students, where your student is going to use this tool to submit their assignment or give a presentation with all the tools. Okay, let them explore. I think the student is much more active in exploring the technology compared to the lecturers. Okay, when I give this to my student, they came up with a lot of tools. And of course, there is cost here. It is free. So your student is going to go for the free one. Okay, which a basic template. Okay, as you know, we are lecturers. I don't think lecturers have a lot of time to produce teaching material from from the scratch. Okay, we don't have time for that. Okay, this is the most issues or challenge with the lecturer. So use this one. This is a template. You just copy and paste your notes, which you already put it in the slides, convert it into Canva. They have a lot of interactive or attractive slides or pictures. okay, which will attract your students, not just a simple slide and so on. We have a lot, okay, you can explore 300 tools, okay, and your students can explore, of course. Okay, we don't have time, but your students have time. Let them explore. And maybe this will give you some of the information about the tools. Okay, as for me, we are learning. We are learning not from, the student is not just learning from the lecturers. Of course, the lecturer have to learn from the students also. Okay, because nowadays, the students have internet. They are global. They can just Google and ask us. Okay, some of our lecturers did not Google. Okay, but the student Google and ask us. So now is the time where we have to learn not only what we call teaching and learning, but also learning and teaching. Okay, so this is where we have to use all this material and must be based on the accreditation. For example, Malaysia, we have MQA, which the accreditation is a qualification. Of course, we must base on the standard procedure and also the guideline that have been produced by the MQA. Okay, and then what are the future trends in the public service or in the public higher education? So our education is based on the industrial revolutions. So this is where it starts. Okay, because our graduates, okay, is going to be in here, the industrial in industry. So that is why, okay, we need to look at what are the industry demand, okay, the needs. So this is what the educational revolution came in, where the first is teaching, the research, community service, innovation, and now industrialization and personalization. So this is where we have MOOC, we have AR, VR, AI, okay, and also the industrial attachment and industrial collaborations, okay, all these are the revolution nowadays. Okay, so this is the integration.
Zuraidah, I'm sorry, can do more speed up for your presentation, yeah?
Okay, so this is the integration and also what has been done in Malaysian higher education. Okay, so from 1.0 until 4.0, and then this is what Malaysians have already done with the framework of the shift from traditional into our what we call educational blueprint. Okay, which we need to have this one for quality graduates and also excel experiential learning competency-based education landscape. And this is what we are doing right now. The virtual and also the artificial intelligence. I think some of the university, the public university are developing this one, and also metaverse, which we are going into that for USM, which we have the blockchain, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, IoT, and also the 3D constructions, which I think in USM we are moving forward this in engineering department. So the sharing session of my experiences, which I said I'm a behaviorist before, which I'm a teacher-centered using a textbook. Okay, so this is where the students are learning. In my class, I'm changing it into the hands-on activities where they are going to discuss. Okay, and then we have here, okay, a very active students before. And then we also have learning management system, okay, which I think all of us have this. Okay, this is what I done for my accounting students. Okay, which I think using textbook is not effective. So I'm moving forward into video lecture, where my students are watching my video lectures and also complete the task. Okay, so after that, we are doing the exercise in the class. That is the most effective. Most of my students pass the accounting subject, although it is a killer subject, but they pass it because of the video lecture. This is what I did. Okay, before the class and the homework, we do the homework in the class. So the student is not going to do any homework outside the class. So because they already do look at the video lecture, then we also move into blended learning and flipped classroom. This is where you need to design. Okay, and then we have here student profile. This is where you need to know what is your student needs. Okay, you cannot just what we call do it alone is not your task to do it alone. And then this is what happened because the internet connection is not good to our students. So we have to blend the learning with synchronous and asynchronous. So we give flexibility to our students to learn. So this is our class right now, and also the platform that we need to design for asynchronous to our students. And the conclusions of my talk today is design your own instructional, not only for teachers, but also for students. Produce your innovations and achieve your learning outcome. Okay, so this is the last quote. Technology is not just a tool in terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them. The teachers is the most important. You are the one who design and you are the one who develop. Okay, in order for you to implement in your teaching and learning process. And last quote is technology alone isn't going to improve student achievement. The best combination is great teachers working with technology to engage students in pursuit of the learning they need. So this is the conclusion of my talk. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Siti Zuraidah from USM. Yeah, very good sharing from Dr. Zuraidah about the educational technology and also tools for innovation in teaching and learning. Yeah. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Zuraidah.
Most welcome.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will do the discussion and Q&A session. In this session, we have 3 discussion model. First, from me, and answer by all speakers. Second, from the participant, and answer by relevant speaker. And 3, from speaker to speaker, if any. Yeah, but we have a limit time. This is the weekend, and maybe we have only 15 minutes for this section. First, I have the question, and I hope can answer from all speakers. My question: what the constraint or challenge when you do the innovation activity, and how to resolve this constraint to get the overcome when face the challenge. I repeat, this is about the constraint and how to solve this constraint to get the success outcome from your innovation activity. Maybe from Prof. Imbarine Bujang, please, Prof.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Masun. I believe the question is actually talking about what will be the constraint, a challenge that a person will be involved in the, what do you call this, in the innovations work. Right? Am I right, Dr. Masun?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Now, I think that as I mentioned in my presentation, it's also being highlighted back by Dr. Siti Zuraidah and also Dr. Siti Zabedah. So the most important thing itself, the challenge is whether the innovation product that we produce is actually really map and solve the issues. And normally I will look this perspective into 3 important elements. What I call as the first one is urgency. Now, is it really urgent that the innovations that we do is actually really workable and really need by the industry or not, right? And number two is actually we need to look at whether we do have the resources or not, right? And number three, what will be the skill to be acquired? This is the three elements I think that which is very important, yeah, very important. In which that the innovation should look further on this thing before proceed the activities. Otherwise, it's gonna be a waste of resources. Yeah. So I think like when it comes to the discussion today, right? When I look at from Dr. Siti Zabedah and also Dr. Siti Zuraidah and also Prof Ali just now, I think focus is more on towards the innovation in teaching and learning. So it also have dealing with a couple of, I think, constraints, right? But what actually need to be looked further, right? In the sense of what is actually the directions, their educations in the 21st century, right? So if I look at just now, right, we really want to look at, like providing the best facility. Every institutions want to give the best to the students, easy access and so on. Right, but one thing that we have to look further in this 21st century, there are two important elements in the education. So the first one I would like to say is the crystallized education or crystallized intelligence. So when we're talking about the crystallized intelligence, this is actually what has been presented by Dr. Siti Zuraidah and Siti Zabedah. What are the best tools? So it means that we are very fantastic in designing that crystallized education. Yeah. But another one is very crucial, right, at the moment, is actually to be considered when we want to do the innovation is the fluid intelligence. The fluid intelligence is something that reflect with the current environment, which must be blended together. Means that we have the fluid element and we also have the crystallized element, and then it becomes more sophisticated education in the 21st century. This is actually the biggest challenge that I could see. Otherwise, it's become just a knowledge, but at the end of the day, the students will not be able to place the knowledge at the right time and at the right place. Yeah, this is what I can say at the moment, Dr. Masto.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, yeah, Prof. Imbarine Bujang. Yeah, very clear answer, yeah. Short answer, but very clear, I think. Yeah. Prof. Siti Zabedah, please.
I think Prof. Imbarine has said everything. He has covered everything. I do agree 200% that for an organization, whether we want to include the innovation, especially for teaching, yeah, we need resources, we need management support, we need to know the urgency, whether it is required or not, whether it can fulfill the objective of the teaching and learning process or not. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. And we know that we have our time is not only for teaching. We have to look at others as well. Our KPI is not only teaching. Like us, teaching is only 30%, the other 70%. So how are we going to make sure that we look at all this innovation, and people like me who are not very, not very innovative, not very creative. I am not a creative person. So for me, it's a very big challenge, So I need, what I can do is I need to find people that can become my team. So Prof. Imbarine and Siti Zuraidah, you can help me in the future. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Siti Zabedah. I think from all speaker Malaysia, yeah, I hope can answer and then Prof. Ali from Indonesia, yeah. Prof. Dr. Siti Zuraidah, please, your answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Masood. Okay, my answer, the most, when I do workshops with all the lecturers, and also teachers, it seems that time, So because of the workload, so they have a lot of problems. Okay, so that is why I always give an attention to the lesson plan. Okay, so when you want to do something for your student, of course, every teachers, not only teachers, but lecturers also need to have their own lesson plan. But I think university lecturers, their lesson plans is for the whole semester. Okay, and we don't have time to do our a daily lesson plan. Okay, it is just for the teachers. But I think nowadays university lecturers also need to have their own daily lesson plan. Okay, so but it is not what we call a detail, but just an outline where you also can share with your students, as Dr. Siti Zabedah said. Okay, we have a lot of work. Okay, so we want to know what our student needs. So this is where the technology tools came in. Okay, you can use Google Forms, you can use a lot of tools to gain feedback from your students in just a click. Okay, so this is where also the lecturers need to go to the workshops to have the competency of using all the tools. Okay, once you are used with it, you are going to, your life is going to be much more simple. Okay, so this is for me, the design of your lesson. Okay, where you need your students to give the feedback. Of course, it is a research, it is an experiment. You need to experiment your each lesson, because the student is not every time what we call have the same mood. Maybe the topic is more technical, or the topic is too theoretical. So you have to design it clearly. And also you have to discuss with your students. That is the most important, the students, because at last the learning outcome is the student have to achieve. That is for me, Dr. Mas.
Yeah. Regarding innovation in teaching and learning, yeah, what is the main constraint in Malaysia? Maybe Prof. Imbarine Bujang can representative from Malaysia, please.
Oh, all right. The biggest challenge, I think, like, is always is the time. You know, like, okay, as mentioned by Dr. Siti Zuraidah, Dr. Zuraidah just now, you know, like, maybe the teaching is only 30% only, but the 70% is actually more towards that how you actually, I could say, is how you place yourself at the market, you know. So this is actually the new definition as an educator, as an academician, as now, you know, like, as being mentioned by the Ministry of Higher Education. So, you know, like, the university need to be a research center. So means that the direction itself, you know, like, if you want to be good in the education, in teaching, means that you also have to update yourself with the research. Then you actually giving a fresh from the oven knowledge to your students. So this is something, that's why the involvement itself for myself, I could share from my experience. You know, I could divide that my teaching is 30%. But when I become the board of the STAT GLC, you know, I'm holding about 3 companies as a chairman, right? So I also have to divide my time, you know, for another 20% with them. For the 50% with the industrial linkages and also with the international collaborations. So, you know, like, that's why the new mechanism of the as an academician in the 21st century is already changed. Totally 360 degree. If you go back to 1990s, it's actually more on student-centered learning, means that you just get the lecture, you just get the test, and then it's a process repetition, you know, every semester. But now, you know, like, we have to open our arm, you have to open our our strategy in terms of how you're going to place yourself as a person who actually can be a center, can be a reference person. That's why in UiTM, I'm one of the candidates in University Technology Mara, in UiTM. I'm one of, as mentioned by Dr. Siti Zuraidah, one of the person have to produce the micro-credential under the program, what we call is Professor on Demand. Yeah. So it means that we have 7 being selected under UiTM. So I'm one of them, but my focus is actually only just short introductions to the people in the industry, how we enhance the quality of the, their self-development of people, especially when they go to the postgraduate level. That is actually I've been asked to do that. It's a 1-year assignment for me. So that's why can you see that, it's not only teaching, it's actually already broadened up with a lot of things. Yeah. So this is the challenge. But what is the biggest challenge? It's only the time, especially if you are dealing with not only 2 or 3 PhD students, if you are dealing with the 16 PhD students at the same time, because our requirement number of PhD students can be supervised is 17. So because the number of people who are qualified to supervise is very limited, right? So you have no choice. This is actually what you have to do. Because the demand is high, now is the time people really want to go, especially during the pandemic, it's the time for them to go for study, and rather than they do nothing, just work from home all the time. So that's why this is actually another way that we have to think, right, as academicians. I think that's from me, Dr. Masood.
Thank you very much. It is very important, for us, for educators, for lecturer, to improve our methodology in the teaching, in the learning. Thank you very much, Prof. Imbarine Bujang, Dr. Siti Zabedah, and Dr. Zuraidah. Then we will meet Prof. Ali Muktiyanto from Universitas Terbuka, as the leading in the learning distance technology. What is comment and answer from Prof. Ali Muktiyanto? Please, Prof.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Masood. Agree with the comment or answer of the other speakers. At least we have the constraint to fast innovation. We have the credo faster, better, and cheaper. We have 3 constraints. The first one about the regulation. The regulations that tend to make the process of the birth of innovation so convoluted and bureaucratic. There must be a simplification of the regulation, as exemplified by the Mr. President Joko Widodo. And the second one, based on the capacity building theory, about the organizational structure. We know UT position is a government works unit, especially the ministry under the Ministry of Education and Culture, as well as financial management regulation from the Minister of Financial, Peraturan Menteri Keuangan, with unit cost that sometimes hinder innovation financing, so that the innovation process stop before producing significant output. And the last one, I think the capacity and capability of human resources. Pak Masood, looking for creative and innovative human resources is not easy. They must be created an atmosphere or ecosystem that makes the comfortable to innovate and be free from acquisition of wasting resources. They must be free to conduct research and experiment. I think that's Pak Masood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ali. I agree, and I can feel that Prof. Ali say. Okay, we will meet the participant. Yeah, we have 3 questions from participant. First from Prawiyati, Accountancy Unmer Malang. Unmer is Universitas Merdeka. Question first, how to prepare the student ready on the class in the student active learning method? 2, how to compile an assessment rubric on project-based learning and case study of counting subject. I will continue. Number 2 participant is Afifah Rahadian. Assalamualaikum, Ms. Zabedah. My name is Afifah Rahadian. I want to question to Ms. Zabedah. How can we learn about accounting if we have not yet learned counting? Prof. Zabedah, you will prepare this answer, yeah. And last question from Dr. Dian Anita. Dr. Dian Anita is the kolega in Surabaya, ya. Prof. Siti, wow. Following your presentation, it seemed that lecturing is interesting even though it needs much effort to prepare it. How is your strategy so that you can balance between teaching activities and other academic activities so that you can keep your teaching quality? I think this question relevant with Prof. Madya Siti Zabedah. Yeah. So I hope Prof. Siti Zabedah, can you answer this all question?
All right. So okay, thank you, Dr. Mohsen, and thank you for the question as well. I think because maybe most of the audience here is from the M.Si, accounting, public sector accounting educators. Yeah. So we are educators. So look at the first question: how to prepare the student ready on the class in student active learning method. Okay. Firstly, for me, before I can actually adopt this active learning among the students, the lecturer itself need to be active. Me, myself, when I enter the classroom, I have to show a positive face. I have to show a friendly, a friendly mood to the students so that the student, the moment I walk into the class, they feel they want to engage because they feel that they are safe in the classroom. So firstly, in order for you to create the active learning environment is that you have to create a safe environment to the students. They feel that we are like, not like the lecturer, like the mother, mommy. Even I ask my student, if you want to call me mommy, it's okay. If you feel that in that way you can feel that you want to engage in the classroom, then that's fine for me. So from there, we start the conversation, the discussion. First class is more about talking. I think most of my class, I don't have any slides. Perhaps 1 or 2, but the rest is more towards talking and walking towards the student, to the group, to each small group. I will talk to them, close to them, go to group by group. Yes, we show that we are concerned about their studies, their learning activities. Okay, so that is how I prepare the student. So from there, students know what I want from them. So the first day is the most important thing for the student, to get to know me and to get to know my style. I think that is for me only, my style. The rest, maybe Dr. Siti Zuraidah, she has other opinion, because I think different educators, have different style and technique and their own approach. Yeah. So for me, that is my approach. Okay. So am I answering the first one? How to prepare the student ready to the class for active learning method. So it is out. Then after that, once the student know already, okay, we start to discuss from time to time what they need to do. So meaning that the lesson plan is very important. The planning, before we start the semester, we as an academician, as a lecturer, we need to plan everything for the whole semester. So that's why people think that, student active learning, student-centered learning, the lecturer is less busy, you can just rest. No, we need to plan ahead before the semester start. Like me, now I know already what are the subject that I need to teach for next semester. So it happened that also public sector accounting. So I know already what I want to do. It's just that maybe I changed the case study, I changed the project, the approach of the project. Still have project, but then different approach. Sometimes I ask the student to do analysis of the government annual report. So I have the checklist already, what they need to analyze based on the government annual report. Okay, so maybe next semester I will do different thing, different analysis, different reports. Yeah, so that's how. Okay, I think that is question 1. Dr. Masud, is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's very clear. Yeah.
Okay, and I need to finish everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 2, how to compile an assessment rubric on project-based learning and case study of accounting subject. Okay, so assessment rubric, we our school TISSA have prepared already. What are the rubric that we need to use? Yeah, for each of the assessment. So we have the teamwork rubric, we have the presentation rubric, we have report writing rubric. The rubric is already provided by our management. So we don't have to think about that. We just use the rubric and make sure that the student know what are the criteria being assessed according to the rubric. Okay. Whether on project based, whether on a case study, whether on individual assignment, presentation, all we have rubric. We use rubric. How to compile an assessment rubric? How to compile? Is it how to use? To compile, what does it mean to compile?
Integrated kan?
Integrated. Okay, our rubric is for specific purposes. For project-based, we have teamwork rubric. And for individual, we have what we call it, I can't remember, the person, not personality. We have other specific rubric for individual students. And for group project, we have other specific rubric. That is on rubric. All right, I move to the next one. Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Afifa, I want to question how we can learn about counting if we have not yet learned accounting. Okay, maybe because she triggered this question because I said that my student have to prepare everything and then do the presentation. This is where they need to do the reading. Okay, material, we have the materials. Okay, we have the textbook. They can read. So based on their reading, they discuss in the group, do their group presentation. Anywhere, I don't care, under the tree, at home, at the hostel, doesn't matter. As long as they do the preparation. Then when they come to class, they present their topic, I will listen to their presentation and carefully look at whether they have the understanding, the correct understanding of the concept. The concept is very important. In public sector, I think majority of the students, they cannot get the concept correctly. That is based on the final exam results. We ask them very simple question, very basic question, but they couldn't answer. Why? Because they did not know the how to say the use of the concept when we do the application question. We apply the concept into the application. That's how the student. That's how the student need to make sure that when they do the presentation, they really understand the concept. Okay. And then the last, Dian, following your presentation, it seems lecturing interesting. Yes, lecturing is very interesting for me, I think. Yeah. Need much time. Yes. Timing is the crucial thing. How is your strategy so that you can balance between teaching activities and other academic activities? Okay. So as I mentioned, now my KPI is 30% only for teaching. 70% is for other commitment. Yeah. Publication, consultation, research, service to the university. So how do we keep this the timing that we have? We have in a day 24 hours only. So how do we arrange this? So we need to know what is our priority, and for the teaching of course, we are not doing what we call teaching in silo. We have a team. Yeah, normally for one subject we have 2 or 3 colleagues to do the same course. So based on the lesson plan have been prepared earlier for every semester. So based on the lesson plan, we change or we modify what is necessary, and then we move from there. The most important thing is that what we want or how we want to assess them. The template is already there. It's just that we need to modify a little bit from time to time to suit the current requirement. Yeah, I think I did that. And for this semester, for next coming semester, for PSA, I just take whatever is prepared for this semester. And in UUM, we are using OBE system, outcome-based education system. Betul lah, Siti Zuraidah, OBE. Yeah. So I am the champion for OBE for PSA, public sector accounting. So we have to prepare that one, make sure that everything is in order. So for the rest of the semester, the coordinator will just follow. So it's not really a burden from time to time. Only for the first time when we need to prepare. First time is always need more time consuming, because from nothing to something. Yeah, but after that we just modify, or we just plug in something new that you want to include in your lesson plan. I think not from the educational expert. I'm not like a Siti Zuraidah. Yeah? I'm not very good in the technology in educational things like that. I just how to say it? I just make sure that at the end of the day, the students are able to achieve the course objective. Thank you. I think that's all.
Yeah, okay. Already clear. And the last might be any question from speaker to speakers, if any, because we have the limited time. Yeah. But again, might be any question from speakers to speakers, please.
Pak Masun.
Yeah.
I have explained about the active learning. Yeah, about active learning. To prepare students to ready for active learning, it is necessary to prepare an overall course learning plan, including learning outcome. Students must understand the unit of learning event and the design of learning event. In addition, it must be ensured that the students have read and retrieved learning material such as reference book, module, or guidebooks by digital or printed. Students have a record important point, both understood or not understood, to be confirmed to the lecture or tutor for success learning. I think that's all.
Okay, Prof. Ali, maybe you will ask from Prof. Imbarine, Dr. Zabedah, or Dr. Zuraidah? Dr. Yeah. Dr. Zuraidah, maybe can you answer? You have experience in technology in education? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Prof. Ali. So for active learning, of course, okay, when we want to encourage or gain the interest of our student to become active in the class, as mentioned before, it is about the planning. Okay, so how are we going to plan and how the students will react? Okay, react with our learning or teaching materials. Okay, so it is not just one tool that we have to explore or experiment. Okay, so that is why I think in each of our class, we have to do this experiment. Okay, because we are the one who know the students. Okay, so you have to introduce to the students and you have to share with your student your lesson plan so that the student are prepared what they are going to do in the class, what are the tools they are going to use. Okay, for example, for me, when I teach accounting, I do a video lecture for my students and then give to them so they know what they have knowledge on that, because the video lecture is a task-based video lecture. And the lecture is about the module, all that is in the module. Okay, and then when we come to the class, we have the activities. Okay, it's not about the lecture. Students are not going to listen to any lecture in the class. So that is where the students are going to be active. And we have to introduce to the students, okay? And what are the activities? For example, if we do a role play, so we are going to give information to them, the role play. So what are the tools? What are the overview or brief description about the role play that are going to be in the class? So when the students know about that, I think it becomes much more easier. Okay, so it's very difficult if the students came to the class and not watching the video lecture and don't know what to do. And then when we want to implement our activities with the tools that we use, the students don't know what is the tools and they are not going to participate. Okay, so this is the problem. But when we introduce to our students, especially in accounting, which is a technical subject, and also with a theoretical subject, I think it takes place. The first thing is about experimenting our lesson. But as mentioned, 30% of our KPI is about teaching. But in USM, we have teaching track and also a research track. So the lecturer can choose which track they want to use, okay, based on their KPI. So this is where I think most of the lectures in education, we focus on the teaching track because we are producing the graduates that will be a teacher soon in a public school. So that is where we have to really show the role model, the simulation, the example in the class, so that all the graduates, when they become a teachers in public school, they are going to use all whatever they have experienced in our class when they do the degree in education. So that is my answer.
Okay. From Prof. Imbarine, short comment maybe?
Well, I guess I agree with Dr. Siti Zuraidah. One thing that I think, like when we're talking about the active learning, maybe that we have to start to think the future directions of the active learning. You know, like I think like most of the youngsters, especially the young adult, learner, probably they are more on the TikTok procedure learning. Yeah, that means that the way how they're going to react about something from the TikTok itself will be different. And whatever is it, like as a academician, I always mention this, like if you want to use that, any kind of platform, any kind of tools you want to use in your teaching, whatever is it, as academician, you have to be hot all the time. When I say that be hot all the time, it's not say that you are beautiful, you are handsome, but you have to be hot. H is for honest, O, be open-minded, and P is the trust. So be hot always. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Alhamdulillah. The session is over. Thank you very much to Prof. Ali Muktiyanto from Universitas Terbuka, Prof. Imbarine Bujang from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, Profesor Madya Siti Zabedah from UUM, Dr. Siti Zuraidah from USM. And I think I can stop our session. I return to MC. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the explanation and the knowledge that shared to us, and thank you for guiding the talk show, Mr. Mahsun. For the next agenda, short speech from the representative of the previous COPSIS champion. The first one, the winner of second COPSI, Antares Firman SEM Prof ACC. To Mr. Antares, time is yours.
Thank you very much. A very good morning and afternoon, probably. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just want to check, can you hear my voice? Excuse me, MC? Yeah. Hello?
Yeah,
Okay,
clear.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Professor Mahsun, I really enjoyed since the very beginning. And I think this sharing forum is really, really good for public sector improvement. So as I may aware that the COPSI is one of the best public sector competitions event that I have ever participated in. So as we may aware that the public sector plays a vital role in the development of any economy of the countries. So if I can imagine, like the public sector we can describe as a growing rings of institutions where the government is at the central and followed by the agencies and public firms following, right? So, and I refer to the first speakers, Professor Bujang. There are three aspects. It is essential in the public sectors. Why public sector is important? First is the huge expenditures, and B, innovation is also vital to increase efficiency. And the third one is identifying the new scope of services, infrastructures, and standards. And I totally agree, Professor. So, and regarding our first innovation was about procurement management information systems. So the idea was how to put the cutting edge technology into our procurement management system. And Universitas Terbuka, in the last 3 years, already succeeded to improve our efficiency and also our accountability. So I think this COPSI, or this sharing forum in public sectors, it provided me with insights on how to create a learning culture in my organizations, which is Universitas Terbuka. And the experiential approach performed by the participants and also the speakers also reinforced learning and provided me with so much more to think about. So skills to apply when we get back to our own workplace and strategies to use when leading and working with our teams. And yes, thank you very much. I think COPSI is very engaging, great results, high integrity, and innovative. Well done, committee. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Antares.
Thank you.
The next one, the winner of third COPSI, Mr. Irham Huda Eskom MSC. To Mr. Irham, time is yours. Is there any? Is it Mr. Irham already here?
Yes.
Okay.
Taking my son.
Okay, it's clear.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for giving us opportunity to speak here. Yeah. I'm really enjoyed this event. Yeah. From the start, we got a lot of new knowledge. Yeah. As the winner of the COPSI last year, yeah. We got many knowledge for our participant in this forum. Yeah. In here, here we want to give our testimony about our innovation that got winner of COPSI last year. Yeah. Our innovation is called SIK Bintes. Yeah. or SIK means Sistem Informasi Keuangan, Financial Information System for BUMDes. BUMDes it means village on enterprise. Yeah. Our team from vocational school Gajah Mada University. Our innovation is to solve problem in BUMDes institution, which we know BUMDes institution is now widely available in every village in Indonesia. We have application, web-based application, and where we can access through sikbumdes.com. You can open in browser if you want to know sikbumdes.com, where the application have solution for BUMDes institution for their financial in their institute. And we also work with several BUMDes in Yogyakarta to provide assistance to use this application. Also holds several seminar publicly. We also create WhatsApp group like a forum for user from BUMDes if they want to give us question how to use this application and give input give input about application for further development. That's one of our application that got winner in COPSI last year. Okay, maybe that's one my testimony. I'm sorry. Thank you for give us opportunity. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Irham. We've arrived in the end of this event. Now, before we end this, we will give certificate to the speakers and the moderator. To the operator, please show the certificate. The first one, Professor Ali Muktiyanto, SA, M.Si. Okay. Please, please take a photo first. The second one, Professor T.S. Dr. Imbarine Bujang. Okay. The third, Associate Professor Dr. Siti Zabedah Saidin. Fourth, Dr. Siti Zuraidah Md Osman. And Dr. Muhammad Mahsun, SA, M.Si, AK, CA, CPA, CFRA, Serti, PSIS. Thank you. To all participants of this talk show, kindly fill in the feedback form as a condition for obtaining e-certificate. And kindly reminder for our upcoming the 5th COPSI. Flyer. Okay. Okay. The Competition of Public Sector Innovation, or COPSI 2022, Public Sector Innovation in Facing the Metaverse Era. The criteria of this competition is the first one, originality. The judges will assess the originality of the ideas, context, and findings. Number 2, storytelling. The narratives and the video should explain clearly about the innovation and its impacts. And 3, the value of innovation, the outcomes and the value for public service improvement are expected to be addressed. The deadline of the registration and submission is October 10, 2022, and the next evaluation is October 11, 2022, and the determinant of candidates for finalists, October 17, 2022, finalist presentation, October 29, 2022, Innovation Award in October 30, 2022. So don't forget to join the competition. And once again, thank you for the committee and all parties who help us to make this Tokyo succeed. And please look forward to our next event, the COPSI, the 5th COPSI. In conclusion, I wish His Excellency's honorable speakers, guests, participants, and everyone who involved in this talk show will have a great success in the future. And I want to remind to all participants, don't forget to post this event to your social media to get special prize from us. We ask for your understanding for any mistakes and kindly will wait for your feedback as soon as possible for our future improvement. Thank you again for joining us today. We'll see you next time and have a good day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Madya.
Thank you,
Prof. Imbarine.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, speakers.
Thank you, our speaker.
Yeah. Thank
Prof.
you,
Siti,
organizer.
Zabedah.
Yeah. Hi.
How are you?
Contact. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
Siti Zuraidah, thank you for a warm discussion. Pak Masud.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Mana dia bye-bye saya?
Tanah tumpah darahku yang mulia, yang ku puja sepanjang